Harrisburg.
From Harrisburg.
Harrisburg.
Shady had the pleasure of chopping it up with Micah when we went to practice 2 days ago. He saw him right before the team got to doing their little different individual drills. Can Micah, who is an absolute phenom, an absolute stud, one of the best defensive players we've seen in the last 20 years, can he lead the Cowboys to a Super Bowl? Notice I didn't say Dak.
Right.
I said
Micah.
Micah.
So Micah is by himself. Just lead him.
Can he be the galvanizing factor?
I mean, he is that good. He is that great. I got to say no. I mean, nowadays, you need some help. I think of a guy like Aaron Donald, as great as Aaron Donald is, and I think Parsons is really great, but he has a long way to get to Aaron Donald, but he's on the right path. Even he needed some help. And you look at the players they had with Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford.
Super Bowl years.
Nowadays, you need some offense. Nowadays, you need a quarterback. If you look at the last 3 championships, 3 or 4, you got Brady, you got Matthew Stafford, you have Pat Mahomes twice. So, yes, I think you need some defense, and Parsons is, if you have a solid offense, you don't even need a great one, it's a solid offense, and you have a guy like Micah Parsons, that's the championship DNA.
Yeah.
But by itself, it's going to be tough, bro. It's going to be really, really tough.
Where you at, Schulz?
I think he can. I think he is that special. I said the other day, he's generational. He might not even be generational. He might be once in a lifetime. I used to say Dwayne Wade was a generational player. Michael Jordan's a once in a lifetime. Parsons is that. I believe he's that good. I believe he's that smart. I talked earlier about Dan Quinn telling me he is that sensational of a talent, but more importantly, the drive, the work ethic. We also said he's still learning the position. He's still learning how to rush. Man. He didn't really do that at Penn State. So you think about how old he is, the ceiling, the team is really good, 1 through 53. I believe Micah Parsons can lead Dallas to a Super Bowl. I would say that if he's great and continues to get better, that'll do so much for Dak Prescott. It'll open up so many things for CeeDee Lamb in that offense that he can do it. So the answer is yes.
I want to say yes because I think Micah influences the game so much. He's just an outlier type of player. He's not just a defensive player. He ends drives. He scores points as a defensive player. He's a constant disruptor. So I want to say yes. But it's just a different... And if you could score in 13 seconds, like, that's 13 seconds. It don't matter. That's too much time to leave for Patrick Mahomes. That's the NFL that we're in right now. So as much as I want to say yes, and I think he is that type of player, when I look at how Super Bowls are won and what quarterback is on the other side of those games, how do you defend that? How do you score? It's too much time for Patrick Mahomes, 13 seconds. That's crazy. And when we think about the last time a player led a team to a Super Bowl, we would say Ray Lewis, a defensive player, right? It would be Ray Lewis.
Different era.
And James Harrison, I'd
2012 and 2000 were the Ravens' Super Bowl years.
Defensive, right.
Their passing offense in 2012 was ranked 15th and 22nd. I don't think you can do that in an era like this. It doesn't matter how good your defense is. Now, obviously, you can talk about the big defensive plays in these past Super Bowls, but I just think the era with the passing game, it's so hard to see.
And another thing is so winning the Super Bowl is one thing, but getting there is a whole other thing, right? I feel like sometimes it's harder to get there to win it.
Yeah.
But then let's look at last season, right? Micah was a hell of a player. He was one of the best players on that field. And their defense did their part.
Yeah.
They got stops. They shut him down. They made him punt.
Yeah.
But what happened? The turnovers from his team led them to lose. So as much as I want to say Parsons could do it himself because he's that good, he's that great, you got to look at the factors of playing football.
I'm with 2-5 on this. It's like, I think Micah Parsons could win the Cowboys the Super Bowl if he's in the game.
Yeah. Okay, so you're thinking like Von Miller with Denver.
Yeah. If he's in the game.
I can see that for sure. Easy.
Where he just has a dominant game.
Yeah, dominate.
If he's in the game, I think he can win it for the Cowboys. The issue, like Shady is attested to, it's the getting them there.
That's so tough.
Because the last time a defensive player of the year won the Super Bowl was Joy's Pittsburgh Steelers, James Harrison. And then even in the game, if you all remember, 100 yards, pick six, all the way to the crib. So not only did he...
And he had a sack that game, too.
You get a pick six, taking it back. That's a legitimate 14-point swing.
Right.
They're about to score, and then you go score.
But who
That's
was
the
playing
difference in the
quarterback
game.
for them?
He still had Big Ben playing quarterback, so that matters.
But here's the counter to saying he could only do it once they're there. is that Micah Parsons is a force multiplier, domino effect. So everything he does makes everyone else better.
Sure.
Aaron Donald did that.
Yep.
He's done that. Lawrence Taylor did that. I hate to bring up Lawrence Taylor again, but that's what I see.
But if you're going to keep
But Lawrence
using,
Taylor did it twice and Donald did it once.
If you are going to keep speaking about Parsons in that way, he has to do these things. If you're going to call him not just a generational talent,
Once
a
in a
once-in-a-lifetime talent,
He is one of those.
he has to do once-in-a-lifetime things.
Yeah.
Because thus far, he hasn't done a once-in-a-lifetime thing. He's on the third best trajectory of anybody we've ever seen. So
Yeah,
like
I mean,
Shady
look at the
said,
stats.
he is doing what Aaron Donald has done. But if we're going to speak of Parsons in that way, then he's going to have to do what you're saying he is capable of doing, which is something once in a lifetime.
And you talk about Aaron Donald closed that game out. Am I tripping? He closed that
Not
game
at all.
out. But Matthew Stafford went down there to score.
Sure, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Him and Cooper Kupp, they worked that drive, they scored, and then it came got the defense, and then my boy AD said, give me that ring.
Yeah.
But I can see Parsons dominating the game like that because he's that good. But he needs his quarterback to put points up and to protect that football.
Yeah,
That's
the
part
one
of the
thing
game.
that Micah can't erase is turnovers
Right,
by
that's
the
true.
offense.
You can field goals, you get points.
I've been thinking about this the last couple of days. I think I was wrong when I said he's a generational player. I think that's too light. I think he's a once in a lifetime.
I agree with that.
Here-
Parsons is like,
Here's the problem. Here's the problem.
he's a different level.
I just think at some point, like, Parsons needs to give us that 20-sack year this year.
Okay.
Because where I'm at with you, Schulz, is like, Parsons, we're speaking of Parsons kind of like we spoke of Russ before last season. I say that to say we're projecting. Joy called me out on it one time, like, oh, you make a really good point. We all said Russ was a Hall of Famer because we assumed that he was going to keep doing what he's doing.
Right.
But to say that Parsons is a once-in-a-lifetime talent based on 2 13.5 sack years, I can't say that only because we saw Bond do it.
But Russ ain't never been this good like Parsons is.
No. I'm saying the point of projecting. Like, we're making assumptions.
Oh, yeah, of course.
that
I mean, but he's
We are
doing
projecting,
it.
though.
Oh, wait, is rookie? Hold up a second. We both was rookies.
Yes, sir.
We know how hard that is.
No doubt.
He was all pro as a rookie, as
Yes,
a
sir.
baby. Hey, hold up. He sat at Penn State. He even played his last year.
Agreed.
Okay, so you come in the league and just get all pro.
Boom, hard to do.
You know what?
And then
Maybe
you do it again.
You know what? Maybe I was lucky. I was
do
lucky.
it again.
He's from Harrisburg. We get lucky sometimes. He do it again in the same fashion. So we can't say it's a projection. This is what he does.
But I'm saying we have seen rookies be all pro before. All I'm saying is this. If you say once in a lifetime, if you say
Lawrence
Michael
Taylor
Jordan,
is one of them.
if you say Michael Jordan,
he's on that.
He's on that
Parsons,
trajectory.
He's on that. He's on that path.
All of this, of course, is projecting. Because if his career ended today, he wouldn't be. So,
Right.
of course, we're projecting that
He
he's
is
going
on
to
that
be.
trajectory.
And he could take a big step up
That-
this year.
yes, and-
Like, we're
and-
forgetting how young he is.
that to me is like once Parsons does that 20-sack season, like J.J. Watt did, like Alden Smith did, like Vaughn flirted with, like T.J. Watt did, like, you know what I mean? That's when I'm like, hey, you know what? But it's just interesting. Again, I'm a defensive player, so I'm probably a little bit more particular.
You should love what he's doing if you love
I
defense.
absolutely love
Come on.
it. But to hear MJ, that's when I'm like, okay,
I'm
what's
not saying
T.J. Watt? Is T.J. Watt, you know what I mean? Like, what's Myles Garrett? What's Nick Bosa? What are players who have won Defensive Player of the Year? Like, because we're not talking about them like that. And they've won Defensive Player of the Year.
I think Bosa and Watt are in that conversation. Garrett's close.
We ain't got 4 Michael Jordans, coach.
No, but
we ain't got 4 of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't got 4 of them. So, again, I won't even say if. When? Because I believe it will happen. When Parsons gives you 20 sacks, like, we talking about Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald gave you 20 at D-tackle.
Well, no, listen, that's why I say AD's the best player of all time. He's doing that as a 3-tech, right? But if you even take him away, let's think about Parsons. Like the route that he's on, the path he's on. Like, bro, that's
yes.
But the original question was also, is he putting too much pressure on himself?
Yeah.
And the answer for me is no, because this is how special he is.
This is what he does.
Yeah.
And this is what he does.
What he does.
He's not surprised. He probably would say he should have gotten 3-4 more sacks last season.
Any from Harrisburg, you know how we get
I
down.
thought it was Alec
You know
Cooper,
how
though.
we get down.
No, there's
Not Alec
Cooper.
Cooper.
Harrisburg.
Yeah. Philly.
Harrisburg. Ricky Waters is from there too. We got players.
Waters
Though.
was running
Don't
back.
get crazy.
Underrated running
Don't
back.
get crazy
Okay.
on here.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.